Bubblegum? Lewis was my new best friend. After Mom and Dad divorced, he's been the only person to hang out with me at my dad's new apartment. He worked at nights and slept during the day, and I never wanted to stay in the too cramped apartment. I was supposed to spend summer with him, since he lived too far away, now to see me usually. Plus, since I caught COVID when summer started, I couldn't go to camp like I was supposed to. I still haven't even gotten my taste back. Bubblegum? It was the first thing Lewis said to me, and basically the only thing. He doesn't talk much, even now. But on the first day my mom dropped us off, he was swinging his legs on a patio looking down at me. He held up his little bag, and even with my glasses off, I could see different colors of some sort of pink candy. We've hung out every day since. Like I said, he doesn't talk much. Usually he just nods or shakes his head or shrugs. On more complicated things, he points. That's fine. I talk a lot, filling the air, and it doesn't seem like he minds. Bubblegum? I had politely declined the day we first met, but every day since, we spend most of the time talking or exploring, playing a game in my house or walking and chewing bubblegum. It was his favorite. It took a while, but I figured it was homemade early on. He carried it in a Ziploc. It came in different shapes and sometimes even different shades of pink. He only lives with his mom. She's often gone, so we spend time in his home playing with his things. My dad didn't want me venturing too far. A lot of animals and people seem to go missing here, and he was always worried about the two of us getting into trouble out there. Today was no different. Slumped against his couch as we played some video games, chewing bubblegum. In all honesty, I didn't like it at first. It was tough and chewy in a way that I couldn't bite all the way through. But I could chew it for a while. Sometimes his mom made it fresh, and it was wet and slimy. Other times she dried it with heat a bit too much, and I could crunch through it. I actually liked it burnt. Sometimes Lewis would go through all his cabinets and we would mix things with the gum, like marinating. That was the best when it was dried. I held up my hand expectantly towards Lewis, swallowing my piece. I used to throw out the pieces or swallow immediately to get rid of the sometimes funky taste, but it's been weeks and I've come around to it. I glanced to Lewis as he held up his hands and shrugged, an empty bag beside him. I guess there isn't any more. Oh. Lewis stood up, motioning for me to follow as he tapped the bag. We're getting more. I didn't know he kept another stash. I followed him past the kitchen, down the hallway, and then into his mom's room, surprisingly. It was a weird place to keep food. There, he walked into her closet and pulled down the attic stairs. I didn't even know we had any. Climbing up, there was this awful stench I couldn't get used to, and it was cold. Really cold. Climbing up, my first thought was this seemed to be the third floor, but it looked completely different. But that wasn't the most important thing I saw. Bodies. So many bodies. Dogs, cats, people, scattered about, hung up on the wall or positioned on different tables. Not all body parts, though. Some legs, torsos, but it was mostly just one thing. Heads. What is this? I asked in horror. Lewis walked over to the nearest head, looking at me doubtfully as he reached in with his hand. The scalp slid off like a lid to a Tupperware. He reached towards a cleaver, using his hands and cutting just a piece from inside before handing it out for me to take. Bubblegum.
Hello everyone, I'm Giggles, and thank you so much for listening to my narration. A quick shout out to all my patrons: Melissa Perez, Geek Sanctuary, Lawrence Wallen, Andrea Sanderson London, Eric Cifuentes, Krzysztof Kozak-Slazak, Jesse Hartley, and Icy Narrates. If you want to become a patron today, you can check out the link in my description below. And as always, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video.